Good morning, my fellow Michiganders. Good morning, my fellow Americans. And holy cow, Ron and I are extremely excited, fired up. Words cannot even express what we feel like inside. And I'm going to let Ron get right to it. Lead us, Ron.
Well, last night we said we think we're 24 hours away, and I got to thank all the regional people that were out there. They delivered, drove big petition batches to Lansing yesterday evening, and we can announce we did it. We
Yeah.
did it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
In 80 days, Ron?
80 days.
80 days, 500,000 signatures, the fastest probably ever in the state of Michigan, maybe even in the country. And to put that in perspective, that is 5 U of M stadium full of people. That's the amount of people that got this done.
It did, and it's all because of all of you. We again we hope for 20,000. We got 60,000 plus of you. We know how many thousands more were given petition sheets or asked for them at these various events. You did it. It didn't. Nobody believed we could do it, and it's done. Now we're not finished. Those of you that still have those, we saw pictures last night of stacks of them being delivered around the state. They're going to get counted this week. You have to get them in before Friday. If you can get them, if you go to the Stand Up Michigan to Unlock Michigan page, you will see a place to where you can go drop off petitions today, tomorrow. The regional people will get those to Lansing. They will get added to the count. We're just telling you we've passed our goal of 500,000.
We did it. And we, the people, got it done, which, to be honest with you, when we would put out that goal, it's kind of like when we first did our Freedom Festival in Nuevo, Ron. We like, is anybody going to show up? And thousands of people did. And you all showed up, obviously, for this, and you got it done. And that will always teach us, like we always say, the power of one can lead to the power of many. So, Ron, can you explain to everybody, not only do we have to get all the remaining petitions in, mail them in this week, but also what is the process going forward now?
Okay, so again, everybody that has them, don't worry. Tell everybody else that's around you, share this video. This will be a nice short one for them to see we've reached, but we're not going to not count those other signatures if possible. If you get them in the next 24 to 48 hours to a drop-off location, or you send them by UPS, they'll get there tomorrow or by Friday. Anything you can do in this next 2 days to get them delivered, those will be included in the final count. And then we will be on here to give you a final count when they are submitted. We'll also be on here live to tell you the day they've been submitted, and it's now going to be pressure on Secretary of State at that point. So they're going to validate what's coming in now, just like they have everything else. They're going to scan them. They're going to look for duplicates. They're going to do all the process to get through this. We anticipate, Unlock's telling us next week, they anticipate delivering a giant truckload of these to the Secretary of State with the proper paperwork to do the submission. And that would mean at that point, it's in their hands. We are going to push them in this next 60 days. We know there's an election coming up. We know that they can certainly use that as a reason not to be looking at signatures right now. There's a lot happening, but we believe that in November, this has no reason not to get validated with the huge number beyond what we needed. We really.
And that's one thing that we always push for too, and especially if anybody didn't see Ron's live last night, go back into our timeline and watch it because he had some phenomenal stuff that came from his heart that he said. And one of the biggest things that I took from that, Ron, is really holding these elected officials. Let's really find out the ones who want to vote for the repeal 1945. Would they vote for the repeal 1945 law? Because that tells us a lot about restoring those checks and balances. Because if they're against this movement, then that shows us a lot, doesn't it?
It does, and I want to tell you all. I've seen several stories about people and how this whole group has affected you through the process, and that we're getting near the end. And there's some of you kind of fearing, is this the end? Do I have anything to look forward to? Because I'm still locked down. I'm still affected. We're not going anywhere, people. Unlock is a campaign that we were behind. Stand Up Michigan and our group is going to remain. We've got work to do here on 3 fronts. One, we got to get these delivered and turned in this week. Next week, we're going to begin to identify and put together for you a voter guide that you can share with others through your churches, especially to make sure that people get out and vote, that are going for those individuals that are going to vote to repeal this 45. This isn't about Republican or Democrat. If there are more of the one than the other that will vote to repeal, obviously, those are going to be who you're going to vote for. In some cases, we hope that we'll get both sides of the aisle to understand checks and balances are important. We're going to have to work on that this next 6 weeks, Garrett.
and we'll have to continue to push the narrative because, you know, we hear the fear mongering that still goes on, that they're not going to open up until they get the injection and it's proven to be effective. You know, we continue to see them test everybody and their mother. But what Ron and I were just talking before we went live is, remember, folks, this doesn't have the teeth that they said it would in the beginning. Nobody is dying at the astronomical rate that they go on there and said from the beginning. People are living with this, and they're always talking about the second wave, the second wave. And I really feel that there isn't a second wave. We're still getting through the first wave because it's not a matter if you get this virus, it's when. So just like Sweden, we always bring up Sweden. Sweden has gotten through. They never locked down. They never wore the face diapers. They didn't do any of these things, and they are through this thing. And so we have to remember the data is there, but we have to open our eyes and learn and read that data.
We do. And, you know, I think that the thing is, we talked about hospitalizations and deaths, and those are both on totally under control. We always knew that as people went back to school and back to work in larger numbers, we're going to have more cases. Obviously, there's more testing, huge amounts, vast amounts of asymptomatic people. Those are people, yes, they can give it to someone else, but we're finding in some cases they don't. What we're saying is, these cases are going to begin to peak also, because we are back in that capacity. And unless we continue to lock it down and reopen, it's going to peak and it's going to begin to subside, like you're seeing in Sweden and what Garrett has shared with you on many of these before. Look, that's for the medical people. What we're saying is, we have a right to our freedoms. We have a right to checks and balances. If those were in place right now, we would be back to 95%, and those that are vulnerable would be being continued to be protected. We have nothing against any of that, but we also believe that some of the things they're doing in the schools and with our kids are absolutely crazy decisions that they're making individually, and again, not collectively.
Especially when we all have over a 99% chance of living through this thing. So Ron and I just wanted to get on here, obviously update you. Any changes that come, we're going to continue to be on here, be transparent, give you up-to-date, accurate, and truthful information, which we have been doing ever since the beginning of this, folks. But you all got this done. We just gave you a platform.
You did, and I mean, again, I got to thank all of you as you watch this back. Understand, again, I'm going to repeat: send in your petitions. If you have them, get them delivered today or tomorrow, or UPS them, or send them priority mail. Get them to Lansing, and those signatures you've collected will count. We'll give you a final number next week when they deliver it, and let us know what that number is. But we also want you to know that we may need your help, boots on the ground, to help in certain districts to make sure we have the votes. Otherwise, we could be in trouble if indeed that turns and we get lazy on that end of it. This is the first major step, an unbelievable step. But we've got more work to do to dot those I's, cross those T's, get over that finish line, and that is to repeal this law and to put her on notice that it's done. There are going to be obviously some bumps along the way, not unlike the ridiculous article yesterday. That's all they have are ridiculous articles and things they can throw up because. But remember, they're talking about you. They're not talking about that campaign. They're talking about 60,000 of you who did what you did, or 500,000 who signed this. We have the silent majority is awakened. We're not going back to sleep. And we may need you in Lansing. We may need pressure on that Secretary of State in a way that they have never witnessed in the state of Michigan's Lansing. We'll give you plenty of notice if that's the case. But I'm going to tell you, we might need you to show up. So stay tuned.
And also, I just want to put in there to make sure we are getting censored, folks. I keep watching. We are getting censored. The people that share this, that's as far as it goes. So we really need you to comment, like, share this video, and engage that video with your timeline so we can get this message out, because we want to have all the volunteers be a part of this thing. And I don't want to hear next week that these people didn't hear, like, I didn't know I had to turn them in. We need you to share this information because we're getting censored and we're not getting out to the masses. And we see it time and time again with people commenting like, hey, where can I sign? I didn't even know this petition was going on. And we're like, well, where have you been over the past 2 months?
That's exactly
So make sure that you're sharing all of our stuff so we can reach everybody and allow these people that work so hard to get those signatures so they can be counted. They can feel that they are a part of this, because they are.
Yes, and you'll see lots of press. I am positive we're going to be getting some press. Now, there's a lot going on with the SCOTUS and the Supreme Court nominee. It's kind of controlling the news right now, but that also is fine for us. We'll get these things delivered, and you're going to see lots of huge press about what you have accomplished. Again, congratulations. Share the news, share the video, and we'll be in touch soon. And again, we've got lots more information that we're going to continue to inform you with that truthful information you're not finding anywhere else.
I love it. So God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan. And God bless these United States. Until next time, folks. See you soon.
Yep.
Great job.